Welcome everybody to Tropical Weather Update. It is around 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on Monday, August the 21st. I'm doing a quick update on the tropics because it's very active right now and we're headed toward the peak of hurricane season. So everybody needs to be on the lookout, monitoring the tropics for the next month or so in case something pops up. These storms move and pop up very quickly, can become very strong and threatening in a matter of days. So now's the time to really keep your eye on the tropics. We have four storms out there, four tropical systems out there right now. We have Tropical Depression 9, which we will talk about, that is going to threaten and strike the south portions of Texas. We have Tropical Storm Franklin. We have Tropical Depression Gert. And then we have an area of disturbed weather way out here, as you can see, on the eastern Atlantic, a tropical wave that has a 70% chance of formation, but based on the track that we're seeing here, it's unlikely to threaten any of the United States or even any of the Caribbean islands. So that's one that I don't think we really need to be concerned about. Gert is another one we likely do not need to be concerned about. It was a tropical storm. It has been downgraded to a tropical depression and is expected to dissipate. If we look at the forecast track here, as you can see, they only show two positions going forward. There's a star below that says if a storm is forecast to dissipate within 3 days, the full forecast and 3-day graphic will be identical. So this storm is expected to dissipate and pose no threat to anybody. Let's go to the storm, though, that does pose the greatest threat to the United States, and that is what is now Tropical Depression 9, was formerly potential Tropical Cyclone 9. This storm is expected to become a tropical storm within the next 12 to 24 hours prior to making landfall in the very southern portions of Texas, and it will be named Tropical Storm Harold. It is moving fairly quickly it's moving west at 18 miles per hour and therefore is expected to make landfall tomorrow morning, late tomorrow morning along the South Texas coast. Fortunately, the intensity forecast, let's look at this. This is model intensity guidance, and this is provided by Levi Cowan at tropicaltidbits.com, and I put credit in the description of the video. Please check out his website. It's fantastic. None of the models have it becoming any stronger than a tropical storm in 12 hours and then dissipating or decreasing in strength once it makes landfall in 24 hours or so, or less than 24 hours. And none of them show it even gaining maximum winds of anything higher than 40 knots. So that's a fairly weak tropical storm, and that's great news for the southern portions of Texas. If you look on this map, I pulled up a Google map to try and show where the potential area of landfall, and it's somewhere in here, most likely, anywhere from South Padre Island on the south end, along the Texas and Mexico-Texas border, Port Mansfield, Padre Island, and up to Corpus Christi. Those are the areas where you really want to be on the lookout for the potential impacts of this storm starting tomorrow morning and throughout the day. I do think because it's going to be a fairly weak storm, it's really flooding that is the main concern, and even that's not a major concern because it is moving fairly quickly. But any tropical storm, just because it has so much moisture associated with it, is always a flooding threat. So you're going to have a pretty bad day of weather if you live Corpus Christi or south in Texas tomorrow. So do what you need to do to be prepared for that, but I don't really foresee this to be any kind of major disaster. All right, so now go to the final storm on the list, and that is Tropical Storm Franklin. This storm also is not forecast to become a hurricane by the time it strikes Hispaniola with Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Right in the middle of it is what it's forecast to do sometime Wednesday, but it's moving very slow. It's moving west at 5 miles an hour and expected to start turning to the north, but it's still not expected to move very quickly and is not expected to leave the island until Thursday. And so what that means is potentially a lot of rain, and because there are mountains on this island, potential flash flooding, landslides, and a major rain situation. So if you live in Haiti or the Dominican Republic, be prepared because this could be a fairly wet storm with a lot of rain and potential flooding, but not a lot of wind. So they do not have this forecast to even become close to hurricane strength until Saturday, and by that time it is well north of Puerto Rico and well north of Hispaniola. For purposes of a damaging hurricane, I think Bermuda is the place that wants to keep an eye on this storm for next week. So because it is going to move into favorable conditions in the Atlantic with nothing in its way near the peak of hurricane season, and I don't have a forecast track any past 2 p.m. on Saturday, but as you can see on this map, it's headed in the general vicinity of Bermuda. So if you're in Bermuda next week, I think you really need to start keeping a close eye on the prospects of this storm and whether it's going to curve away from you or curve to the left of you, but I think you need to be on the lookout. Other than that, this is what we have at this point, and it's not expected to be too strong when it hits the island of Hispaniola. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Please like this video if you can. Share it if there's anybody that you think might have good use for it. And thank you very much for tuning in. Stay safe, everybody, and thank you a lot. Thank you very much for tuning in. Take care. Bye.